It is the classic dilemma. Do you go with form or do you go with history? Valiant have looked fantastic when they've had the chances at this event. But Yummy Cheeseman, Limitless dominate this rivalry.
They are absolutely the best team that Sub-Saharan Africa have ever produced. But have they been good enough at this land? And that's going to be the major question here. Valiant looking great on day 1 and 2, but not able to get the wins either.
No, we just got to see just how important it was to get at least one game win. It's going to be all about getting the first game here in this eliminator match. But he takes his time, goes for the hook shot. Really should have caught that a little bit better. Instead, kind of caught it in the middle of the ball, and that means it doesn't go anywhere.
And there's been 3 incredibly impressive players, I'd say, from Sub-Saharan Africa this LAN. One of them is going to be missing the net. Willow, he was a star yesterday. Where was that today?
And this will be the worry for a lot of people when they come to Valiant of, you've looked great, but when you're against the team that you're used to losing to, are the jitters going to come back? Is the fact that you have struggled against this team so much going to play a factor? So far, the answer has been yes.
We've seen this before with teams that are used to playing each other online, getting those nerves out of the way when they are up against each other. It becomes a common foe, a common enemy, and a common result. To die for gets the first.
And he's such an important player to get up and running, to die for. We've heard so much about how good this player is, and I was so excited to see him, Yummy. And over the last 2 days, I've been a little bit, lukewarm on it.
Snowy might be the face of SSA, but it was to die for yesterday that put up the best fight against Pioneers. He actually had a great 1v3 solo play that didn't quite make the top 3 of the day, but he is that player for Limitless. Snowy, though, getting on the board.
Well, Valiant, you said you were going to fight no matter what. Let's prove it, shall we? So Werty have a little bit of a, cock to the side of the head. As it just, I don't know, it already feels like they're kind of relaxing into what has been their history.
Yeah, you don't want to see that slow start coming out from Valiant. It's been the case a few times. Sweaty is meant to be their star player, and we have seen that yesterday, maybe not day 1. This will be the time for him to step up, maybe even just get a goal, a confidence booster. Knowing that they can take on Limitless will be the first question they have to answer.
Got to get that first goal so desperately here. Snowy right back into the path where Sweaty was. Let's keep moving onwards. Limitless have looked faultless throughout the opening few moments. And almost found the net to die for. Seen that one before.
Darth chasing down Willow as well, making sure he can't get control of the ball, and that's been Limitless taking possession. No pressure continues. There's actually Darth running really far back, playing it risk-free.
Back down yet again. Werty to his corner. Into action here. Valiant still have not had a big opportunity just yet. Might be here. Sweaty goes early. Valiant struggling just to bring 2 players into these. It's a lot of the time it is just, what can you do as an individual? And Limitless are easily covering it by sending the early challenge.
You look at the top right of the screen to see why as well. They have been wasting too much boost on the way back in the midfield and not leaving enough to make a play on the ball. So it's always one person with a bit of boost, able to make their own play, but they know they can't pass to anyone, that whoever they hit it to is not going to even get up into the air for it.
Darth, ceiling reset. Right now Limitless just settling into their form, setting into their groove. Know that it is Valiant that have got to try and catch them out, and a long ball like that is not going to do that at all. It's kind of just handing away the ball to Snowy, who's happy to take over. That one's on target. To die for just there in time.
Well, Valiant starting to move backwards, and that's where they are the best with the counter-attacks, and Sweaty getting his first, and he was the player we were looking for.
Well, time to give it a go. 90 seconds on the board. Valiant trying to rev themselves up. If they've got anything off the kickoff. Sweaty takes control of it. To die for, treks back. It's playable actually, but Werty finds himself too far forward. Had to adjust the car.
Oh, Snowy's given that one away. Certainly had all the advantage, 2 players up against 1, but pushes it straight towards the net. That's what happens when those nerves are a little bit higher up on land. Go the direct route. Has allowed them to keep some pressure here. Not much boost left on Limitless, and a miss from Darth is going to release that pressure.
Oh, that's a good win, but again, Valiant need numbers. You can see the positioning. It's still so defensive here from Valiant. They're going to have to change that now with under a minute left. Good cut of rotation there from Wilu.
Ooh, bump from Darth as well to keep QWERTY off.
Alright, so try and chase down. 0 boost left. Good bump though on the player on the backboard. Gives Sweaty a chance. Early pre-jump from To Die For. So something that we have not seen from Limitless at this point in the tournament. You can tell that when they're against regional opponents, they're a lot more comfortable. And Snowy will add more comfort to the lead.
You cannot give them any room to get in this game, and Snowy's going to prove just why. Gets the flip reset. Sweaty even doesn't believe that he could possibly have it here at LAN. You can't get away with not trusting Snowy to hit that.
Again, possession here from Limitless. They don't need anything now. They just have to kill this game off. 20 seconds remaining. Valiant's ability to recover has been really tested here, and it's not a test that they're necessarily passing, although opportunity, if QWERTY could have turned himself around, still in the chance on the board. They decide to go for the pass. No, and it does go wide.
High IQ play, but it doesn't pan off this time. The Limitless defense just hold on, and they will be taking game 1. The team that are going 11-1 up in this matchup, that went 8-9 in regionals, take game 1 on LAN as well.
Same old story. Valiant need to try and change the chapter. That was a worrying game for me, Yummy Cheeseman, because that is not the Valiant I've got used to seeing over the past few days.
I've been used to seeing Wilu having a great performance and being that consistent player that everybody else at Sweaty and QWERTY can build themselves around. That Wilu is really smart with his dribbles out of defense normally, that control the possession a lot more. Didn't see that yet from him here. And Limitless, you've got both Snowy and To Die For getting really good confidence goals that make it even harder, I feel like.
For me, Valiant desperately need to control the ball out of defense. Right now, it is hit and hope. And it's hit and hope for a team that are in good defensive positions, happy to control the ball, happy with the fact that you've just hit it at them.
I'll tell you what, Chogan, I've missed your big, ginormous, beautiful face.
Thank you. I'll take that.
Last time seeing you at Worlds, we're back. We're ready to cast some fantastic Rocket League. I really do expect that Valiant will be able to make this fight back. It's only a matter of time. The way that they've looked at this LAN, they've been down before, but never out. They always keep fighting.
Well, we've got Forbidden Temple coming up next. Quick reminder for everybody joining us for the first time for the weekend. Wondering what's going on here. These teams are playing to save their tournament lives. They've already lost twice. It's the 0-2 that you're seeing at the top of your screen. If they win this, congratulations, you get to stay in the tournament. Go and do it 2 more times against other teams. It is a long trek.
I don't talk about prize pool very often as well, but you got to remember, Valiant, Limitless, they play in a passion region, a burgeoning region, have very little experience, don't get to go to majors, and if they win here, whoever wins gets an extra $4,000 on the board, along with the pride of their region.
Yeah, for every round here that you win, it's an extra 4,000, starting from 8,000, going up to 12. Need to move on from there. High stakes for teams that don't necessarily get that many opportunities to play with these stakes on the line. Nice pass, actually. QWERTY pops the ball back up. Here comes Sweaty. His bump attempt on the goalkeeper. Well played by Darth to deal with that.
He got up quickly and then left just enough boost to adjust to anything that came towards him. Beautiful stuff from Darth. Keeps Limitless in a valuable position, and Darth again, strong 50, into the bed, gets the bump. He's accidentally saved a water fake from Snowy, just not enough to break the defense.
It was either he was saving it or the goalkeeper was. Just a little bit unfortunate for Limitless. Maybe a break, though, for Valiant. Here we go, Sweaty. He crossed it. Nobody available to take control of the ball. This has been better, though, from Valiant, willing to send the numbers.
That's going to be the most crucial thing they can do. You can see To Die For, the mechanics coming out from him. It's the bumps, it's the challenges. They're going to win it for Valiant.
If you can have 2 players, at least have one of them in front of the ball. Valiant have been trying to 1v3. Now the odds have evened up a little bit more when they get the offense.
Get to die for's plays out of the picture. We've seen so many mechanical plays from him already, and Valiant are starting to shut that down. That's going to be the key to success here. 3 minutes in, 3 minutes left on the clock, a 1-goal lead from Valiant. They're going to need one more.
Oh, Snowy almost found a double tap. To die for, out to Darth! No other option. It was always going in.
Great read as well to die for, using his teammate, getting it away from that corner into a position where Werty is always going to lose that race with the ball running away from him. You can really see Limitless starting to get that fighting mentality that Valiant had as well.
It's going to be so important to do exactly that. For Limitless, they want as good a result here as possible. They not only want to win this, they want to win 4-0. They want to die for to score from that position. Because the better they do, the better their draw will be in the 1 and 2 round. If Valiant make a real series of this, then whoever comes through from it is going to have a very rough time.
At this point, I think they'll take whatever they can get.
It's an extra $4,000. You'll worry about it in the future.
I think no matter who comes from that upper or that 1-1 bracket coming down is going to be a tough battle. No matter what, Limitless will be that team coming in with high expectations. They are meant to be the super team of SSA, to die for joining them after his immaculate world performance last year. Yet, haven't been able to do that at LAN. From what I've heard, they've been very upset. The mentality hasn't been great as well, so it may be extra important here for them to get a strong victory so that they are mentally good for the next round.
Oh, what a shot! And Snowy finds the bouncing shot, finds the top corner. Limitless can't seemingly shoot anywhere else.
The die for goes high. You can see no backboard defense ready for Valiant. There was Sweaty in the net getting chased around. And when you were in that position, so difficult to deal with any kind of backboard play.
So Limitless re-establishing themselves in this series. Valiant had a very good start here to game number 2. Looking to try and continue it. Darth, he's been bumped! He's been bulldozed! He has been removed!
Like a shark circling, Willow runs straight forward, trusting his teammates to get the shot on, and see you later, Darth.
That is how you get yourself back into the game. 2 each. In a match that Valiant will be desperate to win. Never want to go down by 2, even this early in a best of 7. As for Cross, Willow didn't know too much about it, so Limitless again have plenty of time to control. Too much time to control, even.
And
there we are. That needs to be shot a lot better.
Almost opening up the net again. Valiant starting to put the pressure, and that's giving them all the possession at the same time. To die for just has to attempt any clear. It's not going to be a great one because he had members breathing down his neck. Another shot on. Wordy looking for one of his own. Sweaty doesn't get up to this ball, but it will build some space for Willow.
And Willow past 1, tries to dunk. And to die for had that well scouted. Now Snowy's turn, and he's got past, well, far too easily.
Way too easily. I think if you're Valiant and you're disrespecting Snowy, you know you're in the wrong. A great bump from Darth, of course, to help that out.
Yes, the camera angle did not do all that many favors.
Yeah, it kind of looked like you up against Elevate for a little bit there. So I'm not surprised with the
I'm livid that they ranked me 4th. And Valiant will be livid that they have conceded a 4th.
That's just not ideal. Johnny Boy is also molding at this point in time. To dive for, gets given a freebie. Sweaty running forward.
Valiant just can't seemingly put Limitless off the track. A good go here in game number 2. This is a completely different Limitless. Crew Esports now 2-1 up against Power. Obviously, you're trying to continue their run of form. They got relatively uncontested victories yesterday. Although Power were the sole team to drop one of their games. So.
Up against Valiant, in fact.
Exactly. That's what led to this SSA matchup. Like that, Valiant were able to get that game win and avoid G1.
Wow, good game to win. But unfortunately, it looks like they're not going to be winning this game. And 2 games down. up against your biggest rivals, the team that has dominated you for the last 9 months. It's got to be mentally straining for Valiant.
It's big to try and put it behind you as well, because whilst it has been a one-sided rivalry regionally, World Championships are where they remember what your season was like. That is actually what defines you. They say one match doesn't define your season. This one kind of does.
Really does. It's the only chance that Sub-Saharan Africa get to play at RLCS land throughout the entire season. It all builds up 9 months of playing 4 to 8 hours per day, and you think, okay, finally it's going to pay off. And I know for a fact, Limitless have been really trying to go to that next level at this land. Maybe a little frustration, haven't been able to get the best scrims possible. And, well, at least finally a little bit of that frustration might be released.
Limitless, they'll be having to wait a little bit longer maybe to continue their run of form, as Valiant have called for a timeout. Like I said, did look a lot better here in this game.
We started to see a bit more from Sweaty and Wilu.
It was a bump-heavy game.
Yeah, involved in the bumps as well, and that's I think key. And in fact, the key I would say for any team that feels a little outclassed mechanically. And I don't think you can argue that Valiant aren't outclassed a bit mechanically here by the likes of To Die For and Snowy in particular, up against this super team. You want to get demos, you want to challenge early and not give them any room, you want to steal boost. And I think the one piece of recipe missing from Valiant is being able to use a lot less of their own boost, because they're spamming it to get around the pitch. They're using it to get back to their own boost, which isn't there. And they're without the boost, you can't go supersonic, you can't get the demos, you can't steal, you can't get in the way, and you can't play as fast as possible.
Yeah, it was something that we saw on Valiant when they were playing against Complexity, and I was thinking to myself, well, it's Complexity, they're stealing all your boost. We'll see what this is like later on in the tournament, but it is still a prominent feature of their gameplay.
It was the same against Power as well.
Yeah.
And I was actually really impressed that Valiant kind of by the last 2 games, despite them losing those last 2 games, in those last 2, they started figuring out that boost management a bit more. But it is really something that goes under the radar. I feel like watching and playing Rocket League, people don't think of that. Maybe in SSA, they haven't developed a full mechanic, but you know, even last season, I really felt like Limitless were really one of the best teams at boost management. So there's a lot to learn there. We go to game 3. Have Valiant figured it out?
Well, we're going to see here as Duff starting off, trying to get the outplay. 2v1, 3v3, and Snowy once again has just skimmed underneath the crossbar.
They ask a little question and they immediately answer. Give him a slither and he'll take a mile. Limitless. They are on the march, not just to win this, but maybe go for a 4-0 sweep.
Limitless' shooting accuracy is perfect at the moment. We're looking top right, top left, just under the crossbar. They don't do anything else.
Imagine that was on target. Would have been my favorite goal of the tournament. The roof pitch out of nowhere from Snowy. Something you wouldn't expect from anyone else but Zen, really. And yet, Limitless, Snowy in particular, that player who is most well known, has played a lot in the 1v1s on Johnny Boy's stream, has made SSL even on 180 ping, which if you remember, if you were in the South African kind of region, you had to play on EU even just to get games, and Snowy was still able to compete at that high ping and high level.
Darth, only as far as Wilu, who was another challenge actually pretty happy, and everybody ended up missing it. I think Werty was expecting the touch from To Die For. He thought way too much of his fellow countryman.
You see a little bit of panic too after everybody misses. Werty just runs in and ends up just taking a straight shot, a little bit of a softie towards the net that Limitless are happy to take advantage of. It's gone right back in their face. This time they've kept a lot of the boost at the back. They might have a better opportunity to get out of defense, but look at that, a pass to no one. Up against the backboard, To Die For, looking for the bump, but another miss.
And that's needed. Valiant have got to not let this ball in.
No!
The 2-0 could be too much. It's top right again.
Well, I know that they're from the same region, but you're not teammates. Don't pass it over to Snowy Wilu. An unfortunate mistake, and that's a very costly one.
Limitless are storming their way through to round number 4. Valiant called their timeout. scored on immediately, and the wind has gone from their sails. Double commit, double the chance to save the shot. Now Snowy does have an option on his right-hand side, doesn't get to use it, however. It's another whiff. Valiant are coming apart at the seams.
It's good to see Limitless stepping up that next ability, though, because you know, both coming in, I feel like we thought Valiant have been playing well throughout this tournament. You heard from Lemon Kiwi as well, saying that Valiant looked the best. But I think if you ask anybody on the street and anybody from the SSA region, that if you took both of these teams at their best, who would have the best chance to make it through Wildcard? They'd be happy to see right now that Limitless are starting to perform and get to that level that they want.
Do you think it would be relief that they are now finally playing at that level, or almost frustration that we got 2 days without it?
You can almost imagine if they could have just taken 1 or 2 games earlier for Limitless. It didn't even need to be a series win. They had some of the hardest rounds in that early bracket because of the low seeding that they had. But if they'd just taken a few games, they would have earned a much better round here, a much better even second round, and could have been one step closer to that landmark performance, a historic performance that SSA have yet to have.
Potentially have renewed the APAC versus SSA rivalry that we started the last World Championship. That went 1-1. We'll get to resume it today, maybe at some point in the future. We move on in. Sweaty backboard, well covered by Snowy. Limitless looks so comfortable as soon as they've got the lead, and they don't need to spread out that rotation. No mistakes, instead, you have to work hard to open them up.
You can even see them here rotating widely in the defense, knowing that the first person will be able to challenge, the other people can go for some boost. They've been in defense for quite a while, and yet all 3 of them are almost on 100. Valiant are almost on 0. You can't spend that amount of time in attack and not also manage the boost at the same time, whether it's using too much or not grabbing the small pads or not securing your opponent's boost. There's got to be something there for Valiant.
Off the backboard, is this going to be number 3? No, Darth thinks better of it. Guides the ball over to the far side, dares anyone to come and challenge him. Now 1 minute on the clock, Valiant have got to get something going soon. That touch from Darth really hurts them. Now it's on target. Sweaty scrambles and he just does enough.
They put on the vice and Valiant just managed to escape. A big miss for us to die for, actually gives Willow a chance. Can he get a past the last? He does! A chance for Valiant.
1 whiff, and Willow had his opportunity. Past Darth, tips the ball away from Snowy. 1 goal game. Valiant have to get it.
I'll tell you what, I remember all the way back, RLCS Season 1, Kronovi with a 360 no-scope. A very reminiscent goal we see here from Valiant, and reminiscent of the underdog story that iBuyPower had at that first LAN. Will Valiant be able to do it up against their regional rivals? They've got 30 seconds to tie it up.
The dive for just going to take all the time he can, especially on 0 boost. And that is the worst way that challenge could have gone for Valiant. 15 seconds. Willow can't find anybody. Wurty takes control.
Smart challenges coming out from Limitless as well, making sure to just send one on the Tuesday back, but it's a massive whiff. Willow hits the backboard, but there's no follow-up. What are you doing, Sweaty? There's 10 seconds left to go. Send everybody in. Send somebody. A massive 50 from To Die For saves the day for Limitless.
And that ball will be kept alive. Willow, he's got options. Got the bump. Who's there? Shut down by Darth. Limitless. 1, 2, 3, 4 match points.
It looked so damn close. But Valiant don't have that experience. They haven't been at this stage before. They didn't back themselves to play aggressive. They didn't call for it, and they caught themselves napping.
I mean, where do you stand on this? Like, somebody has to be there, or you have to take the shot? What did we get at the end of that?
Somebody has to be there. You don't. I think taking a shot there is the expected play, but it's almost always the bad play.
I'm hoping we get to see it.
He wasn't in a good position to really get it behind the defender, to put on a good shot, but he was in a good position to hit it off the backboard in an awkward spot behind the defender where they couldn't save it. And there should be a follow-up. It is unbelievable.
You know, I'm almost happy we didn't. My blood pressure can only go so high.
Yeah. Well, a shame for Valiant. But what a massive performance we have had from Limitless. Snowy stepping up once again, having maybe the MVP level performance, even though I expected it to be to die for after yesterday's performance. He was 1v3ing at times. He felt like he didn't quite have the full team. It feels like today, up against Valiant, maybe because there's less nerves, maybe because it is the regional battle, but we do have a full team effort, and Snowy leading the charge.
Yeah, apart from that final minute where Limitless kind of gave up some easy opportunities that came off the whiffs. I mean, the goal that went in, the big chance that we didn't see Valiant take control of, all were caused because Limitless missed the ball. They need to iron that out. Apart from that, they looked really good.
Well, I do say that us Aussies and our South African brothers have a lot in common, both latitudinally, you know, even somewhat culturally at times. And now we have one more thing in common, and that is when you've got a 1-goal lead, you completely panic and try and defend the entire time. This time it didn't cost Limitless, but it has cost, obviously, the Australian players multiple times at World Championships. They've learned from that. Limitless haven't had as many chances to learn. They haven't been in RLCS as long, but they might be getting their first 4-0.
An unfortunate segue on that one there, Yummy, is that we have seen the scoreline popping up between Crew and Power.
And Power are...
well, 3-1 down at the moment.
Oh.
Mate, and that was a while ago, so I'm very scared of the next time that ticker pops up.
Well, I did say that that match was going to be, in my opinion, the decider who would go through the wild card. So it looks like Power may not have that wild card chance, but it's not surprising. Crew are the favorites of that match. Back here, though, Limitless. It was an argument, a debate on who the favorites of this match is. And it's Limitless. It is back to the old ways, back to the domination. Valiant going to have to put in an absolute miracle, magical, worlds level performance.
Yeah, what we're learning here is always go by history. Valiant want to try and change some of that at the moment. Make a bit of history of their own, get themselves the reverse sweep, best of 7 on a LAN. I think we're still searching for our first one of those. Why not be them?
Are you saying that the eye test doesn't work?
I feel like you're using me to win an argument that you've got going on elsewhere, and I'm absolutely going to get on board with this one. No, it doesn't.
Okay, there we go. You've heard it here
first. The
first,
fence was right
folks.
there, and I ignored it.
It is purely about how the last match went between these two teams, and of course the last match between these two. Well, actually, the last match did get decided by Sweaty having to go to bed. But they had already qualified for Worlds at that point. And it was after a bracket reset where Limitless did win the first series of that grand final. We're in halfway through. It's a tied game. It's 0-0, but that might have been the first chance. A good demo. Should hold it out as long as Willow gets the right touch.
Yeah, that was a little bit brave to offer the infield pass there. As always, the interception available. The infield for your opponent is just as good as the infield for you. Just dancing around everybody. Almost managed to wipe out Willow.
You could see there to tie for. Almost fakes out the hit too. He looks to get behind and underneath the ball, which is a really common position to pass it back off that back wall. Uses that position to threaten that play and then go for the bump instead. It didn't work out. You can see the power of To Die For, the fact that he's being unpredictable at all points in time. Another opening as he goes for the bump. Darth has to finish it after getting bumped, but he's bumped off, and To Die For, has he saved it? Was that the win right there? He's going for round number 2, and oh my goodness, maybe an inroad for Valiant.
Yeah, Valiant have got to take everything they're given at the moment, and they're being given a real difficult time. 1-0 Limitless.
It is relentless. There's no limit to the amount of pressure they could put on here. Massive dunk from To Die For. Darth follows up, and Snowy's right there. A complete counterpoint to what Valiant did at the end of last game.
1 minute and 20. Valiant are seeing their season slip away. We'll go back to it. They said 10 goals down, they're willing to fight back. Well, you take a 0 off it. You only need 1 here, lads. Go and find it.
They have to fight. They have to enter this arena, because right now is the worst possible result. The feeling of going 4-0, of letting your region down. I know this experienced players from OC, looking to prove themselves in the past, just to put on a good performance, which Valiant haven't been able to do. They've got 44 seconds to fight back into this one or be absolutely devastated.
This is all about who gets to carry the hopes of the region heading into round 4. At the moment, it's the known, it's Limitless. Valiant with control of the ball. Race to this one first. Actually, a little bit of time here, but nobody took control of it whatsoever. Into the final 15. Dart pops the ball up, looking to try and get the second. They're not going to get anything from that position, though.
Managed to Limitless, again draining the boost away, and they're actually going to just opt to slow it down to die for. He's toying with the Valiant, losing their hopes in front of their eyes against their patriotic teammates. Limitless will go through 4-0 as Snowy pops off.
We will see you in the next round. Valiant are eliminated. And Limitless. More of that, please.
Carrying the hopes of their region. They are the flag bearers of Sub-Saharan Africa. They are that super team that have meant to be going the entire way, and they have shown that glimmer of massive hope here. They will get that chance. A very disappointing one for Valiant, of course. They said that they had that fighting spirit, but they didn't get to show it. They go 0-4. The worst feeling that they could possibly have, not being able to take any of the games off their teammates, let alone, obviously, or of their region mates. But they will at least have that one game against Power. They showed signs, and they, I think, made some fans out of you and me.
Oh, yep.
Willu
Absolutely.
and Sweaty in particular, I'm going to be following him for a long time.
The big news here for Limitless is the 4-0. That puts them on -4 game differential heading into the 1 and 2 round. That's a decent position to find yourself in. Everyone that's over there will have a negative game record. So the better you're doing there, the nicer the match, theoretically, you're going to get.
They've done everything they needed to do here, and Valiant will be falling down, but we're going to go over to the interview. We're talking...
Very soon, very soon. You got to let him get ready. He's still shaking hands.
Oh, you know, I was just super keen to talk to Snowy, to be honest, because MVP for me of that series.
Well, no real shock regarding who we'll be talking to very shortly. And if you ask anyone from SSA, no real shock on who came through to grab the victory. Big question for you, Yoman Cheeseman. More of this in the future, yes or no?
More of Limitless 4-0ing?
Maybe.
No.
No.
But I do expect more from Limitless in the future.
Well, we will see more of them. But for now, let's speak to Snowy.
Thank you very much for that, fellas. Beautiful casting, as always. Talk to me, homie. How are you feeling after a dominant victory on your front?
I'm feeling very excited, to be honest. We obviously know this team. It's the other SSA team. And we knew that we're just a much better team. So the fact that we came out, played our game, and won 4-0, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. We just took care of business. But with that being said, it's very sad to see them go, because obviously they're with our region. So we want our region to do well. That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting to do well so that we can, you know, get major spots next year and just improve as a region. So yeah, it's sad to knock them out, but it just ended up this way, and we had to take care of business, which we did. So I'm happy about that.
A little bit of a bittersweet feeling, but obviously LAN is a very big change for you folks. How does it feel, you know, not having to worry about load shedding, not having to worry about bedtimes, you know, cutting games short? Talk to me about the differences and how have you guys been doing playing on LAN?
Okay, so yeah, definitely not worrying about any of the South African problems like load shedding or, you know, crime. I don't, you know, anything about that. And yeah, all the like problems that come with playing online, it's definitely annoying. And being at LAN, it's just like, you know, the team here with Psionics and ESL, they're just incredible, and everything runs smoothly, everything's professional, and yeah, it's much more relaxing. But obviously, there's more pressure because it's actually a LAN. So you know, we got all these lights and cameras and interviews and everything. So yeah, it's definitely a nice change of pace.
Would you say it's been quite quick for you guys to adapt to, or has it been something that you guys kind of chit-chat about and you're like, you know what, I'm getting a little bit nervous before this game?
Well, to be honest, my teammates have been great off the bat. They've been really good. But myself, like the last 2 games that we played, obviously against G2 and against, I forgot who we played yesterday, Pioneers. Yesterday, we knew we could beat Pioneers. but I just didn't show up at all. I was just ghosting. So I'm glad that for this series against the team that we 100% should have beat, that I actually showed up and just played okay. So hopefully feeling a bit more confident going to the next series, and hopefully we can actually take a win off a bigger region.
And obviously you have incredible family support here as well. So talk to me, has that helped you guys in any way, shape or form?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Last Worlds was like, we didn't even know that we were actually going to Worlds until like, you know, obviously like as the season started. It was like very abrupt for us in SA. We had no idea that we were even being included in RLCS. So last Worlds, there was like we couldn't do any like planning to have everybody come over. But this year I got my mom with me, and we got a couple of other people from SSA. Shout out Greybeard, he's here. So it definitely helps, you know. It's just like we got like a bit more of a team around us. We're not kind of just like, you know, loners from the region far out. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Well, I will say that the fans and the family have certainly been exceptionally loud, especially in catering. So shout out to you folks that have been cheering you on. I was there, I heard it all. But yeah, A, you did the A. I love it. I thought it was a myth, but you actually did it. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and congrats once again.